non-tabbing guys have already could probably have had their showers and got changed and everything by the time I crossed the line. They're sitting eating pizza, and it very nearly pushed me over the edge to despite the smell of pizza as I crossed the line was almost too much for me. So politely declined. Yeah. But as an experience, it was so well run, and it's so no nonsense run. I think that's the main thing. You get used to, particularly bike events, like the start can be quite wanky.
It's 20 hours.
If we put it politely. Yeah. I mean, cyclists aren't as friendly as tabbers, or particularly not as the running brigade. Obviously, I have heard them referred to many times as a bunch of wankers wearing lycra. Obviously, I myself would never ever level that one up. But you know, at cycling, you just want to turn up, start, and if you speak to the people that you cycle with, then that's pretty much a bonus. Whereas the tabbing thing is all about turn up, have a chat, have your photo taken with the flag. And I was kind of taken aback by that camaraderie that goes with it, and it really helps to make the day. And then hanging around for a short while after the race was a real novelty to me as well, because normally cyclists are, you know, the front wheel's off, it's either up on the bike's on the rack, it's in the car, and they're away home. So I think I obviously got hooked on it. I wasn't expecting necessarily to keep doing it, but I think the guys you meet and then the challenge against yourself, and it's a strange challenge as well, because it's not a sprint. It's a real, you have to sort of eke out your efforts over the whole 10 miles. Having done a lot of time trialing on the bike, I'm reasonably good at thinking, well, what can you do for 10 minutes? What can you do for 20 minutes? And that, I think, it particularly appeals to my mindset, and on the fan as well. When you're heading back up from the turn, back up towards Jacob's Ladder, you think, well, how can I best manage my energy to get from here to there, so that I'm not already breathing out my backside by the time I get to the bottom of it. So it works for me. I say that particular type of challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I never realised until now, really, that when you did double tap, that was your first experience of the Fandance. I thought you'd done one before. I didn't realise you just rocked up and done double tap.
I went down because I do this fanatical thing where I take things ridiculously seriously for a bloke who's the wrong side of 50, and I thought, the fan, wonder what that's going to be like on race day. Everyone says it's tough, you know, and it is. It is a legendary challenge. I mean, when you think about the background of the guys who've done it and who go through selection on it, they've all done it. It's like playing golf at St Andrews or you're playing football at Wembley. Everyone who's anyone has done that. And I was like, well, let's take this seriously. So I came down, an excuse to get away from the family for the weekend. So I was like, well, I'll just pop in the car and nip down to South Wales and stay overnight and do it. So I had done that in the June, so about a month before before the double tap. And I was lucky that Mark Hobbs hooked up with me when I was down there, and he very kindly met up with me at the crack of dawn, showed me this is the actual path, this is where you would have gone wrong, and you would have carried on straight up the path. And I was very lucky, and we had a tremendous day at quite a relaxed pace. So I had seen the track, if that makes sense. I'd had my trial run, and it kind of took all the what you call the mystique out of it. Where I mean, the great thing is it's one of these challenges. If you go a nice easy stroll, you know, with Mark and his dog and myself, and you just stroll it, it's a beautiful afternoon out. But you can go around that as hard as you want, and you can be in whatever state you want when you get to the end. And again, that's the challenge side of it. And I would recommend it to anyone who's ever put a rucksack on to give it a go, because it is like your opportunity to play at St Andrews.
Yeah, totally, definitely. And I mean, you've got it all. If the Fandance comes off this summer, I won't spoil it for you, because I've done some of the Woodhouse route, but it did beat me the first time because I didn't train properly for it. I completely underestimated it. But I won't spoil it for you. But that is a beautiful route. You will really enjoy that.
I am shitting myself, I think it's fair to say, because I haven't I haven't put the hard work in. I think I put the pack on with 10 kilos in it the middle of last week. And I've been trying to run 3 or 4 miles one day and then do a tab the next, and run tab.
Yeah.
And it just highlights just how far from where you would like to be you actually are. But you think, well, it's only, there's still a couple of months to go. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
But that's the sort of, that's what they'll put on my headstone is, if only he turned up properly prepared.
I know that feeling. Yeah. So the first time you turned up on the Fandance last year, obviously you'd already done that route. How different was it doing it on Fandance Day for you than doing that route? Because I know you said obviously you can do it at your own pace, but it's I can imagine it was very different.
I have to say it's the most I've enjoyed any event.
Yeah.
But if I was to list my, say, top 30 events that I've done, number 1 and 2 would be the Saturday and the Sunday. Last July for the Fan. It is that good an event, and it starts with when you turn up. If you wear a gun tabbing top, you've hooked up with guys you've maybe never met them before. Some I had met before, so you automatically feel home. And that's kind of one of the things that I struggle with is being the outsider, or you do something for your first time.
Yeah,
I have a horrible attack of nerves. I really get sort of anxiety about turning up. So you're on the front foot, you turn up, you get one of Ken Jones' legendary pre-race briefings, which are so not cycling.
No, not at all.
There's still not anything else. And then, you're off, and again, is it a cavalry charge up the hill or is it not? But I wanted to start quite quickly to try and get to that gate before, there's a gate relatively quick on that forms a queue, and I tried to pace myself to that, and in my mind was, I don't care how you get on the next uphill, just get to that bloody gate and get as far up the queue as possible, because you could fritter away 15 minutes if you're at the back of the queue. I was looking to try and crack 4 hours.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was going to take me to the elite part of the field that you hang out in, obviously. And as it goes, I missed it by 3 minutes the first day, and then I beat it by literally a minute and a half on the Sunday. But I think as an event, I was kind of in awe of it as well. Of just, it's the occasion, and I'll go back a lot, and I bore people to death with, the history of that course, and some people, it means nothing to them at all. Some people are, big deal. And guys who, and I was a real wannabe soldier when I was at school, and you just think that it's kind of the ultimate test, really. Yeah. And so I went around just with the biggest smile on my face all day. Maybe there'd have been some parts where it wasn't necessarily a smile. And I think if you're a tabber and you go to the Fan and you don't enjoy yourself, then you really shouldn't be tabbing. I think tabbing's not for you. If you can't enjoy that sort of just the occasion, and then who cares what the time is? It's a tremendous event.
Oh, totally. And I think Ken and his team and the way they organise that, and the safety measures that go into it as well. There's an awful lot that goes into that event. And I know that there are other organisations that organise similar events, but I honestly can't fault Avalanche, because I think they just put their all into it, don't they?
Well, I don't know if I certainly haven't done any of the other weekends at all. I wouldn't feel the need to, and I know it's a debate that we'll end that debate there, but it just happens to be the weekend, both weekends. It's been a weekend in July that I've been able to get away for. Yeah. And I know that's, as it turns out, Andy Steele doesn't want to turn up that weekend and pit himself against my prowess with the rucksack on. So he always makes some sort of little excuse. I'll have to do it the next week. It's terrible. Yeah. But it's kind of the only weekend for the first, for last year for sure. It was the one weekend in July that I'd be able to get away and get time for it. So it works out perfectly for me. And I think once you've done something once, I'm very brand loyal in general. So,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think as well, even with if you do progress with Avalanche and you go on to the test week marches, I did the Black Sabbath last year with them in the Q course day, and that is like the Fandance on steroids. That is even just the Q course. So we arrived there. I think I arrived there on the Friday night, and Stu Biggs, Staff Biggs was there. Lovely fella. He kept us up all night doing stag on a village hall, believe it or not. He put us on guard on a village hall, so we were up at for half an hour all through the night. And but the actual Q course and then the march following that was absolutely fantastic. It was just something. It really was something else.
You know, these I am very. I've never actually been envious of anyone who lives in or around Wales. But when it comes to your tabbing events, there has to be a little bit of location envy. That, you know, I thought it's quite a long drive to get from here down to Wales. I had no idea how busy it was, particularly if you're travelling down the M6 on a Friday. How long it can take you to get down for that to Wales. So you know, it's not a trip. Unfortunately, it's not a trip that I can really do that often.
So on the double tap then, so like I said, I think I turned up on the Saturday expecting to be absolutely knackered, and like you on the first day, I was about a minute over where I wanted to be, and then I was something like a minute under on the second day where I wanted to be, which I was really happy with. But what did that feel like for you on the second day? Was it, because for me, I woke up that morning and I expected to be knackered, but actually felt all right, and it was like Christmas because I turned up and I feel, do you know what, I feel all right. I'm going to do this, and I don't think until that morning I was sure that the second day I was actually going to do it.
I would probably like yourself. I was prepared that I was going to be in bits and that I might just pull the Sunday and you'll turn up, pretend I've got a dodgy hamstring or something like that. So, it's the calf. It's terrible. I can't do it. But like yourself, turned up. Actually, I really struggle to eat breakfast for all the crap that I can consume in a 24-hour period. I really don't. I'm not a great breakfaster, so I forced myself to, when I was staying at the Travelodge down at Merthyr, forced myself to make myself a proper breakfast, eat it, and knowing that in an hour and a half, you're going to really thank yourself for doing that. And I was amazed how good I felt. Obviously, I shouldn't be. When you prepare as hard for an event as I do, you shouldn't. But I was amazed, and you know how it is. You get caught up in the euphoria of the start, and you get a bit of adrenaline, and before you know it, you're double timing up the first hill again, as if you've been sitting on your backside all the day before.
Yeah. But no, so I really enjoy it. I'm supposed to be doing Trident this year. Just the normal one. I'm not doing the Woodhouse Trident yet, but Paul Jones been trying to get me to do that next year, I think. So I might have a go at that next year. Hopefully this year is going to go ahead. But we'll have to see about that.
I think that's the great thing about the Fandance weekends is there is a clear progression.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You know, I'm glad I didn't start with a single, and absolutely no disrespect to anyone that turns up and does one. I probably should have.
Yeah.
But it made me prepare twice as hard. And obviously there's going to be an asterisk after twice as hard, because to some people that's hardly preparation at all. But, you know, there is a clear progression of, there's going to be, you know, a Trident, and then there's a winter Trident, and then, like you say, the test marches and stuff. So it's not like you turn up and run the Edinburgh Marathon route. No. And then the next year, it's exactly the same. Every cobblestone, every pothole is probably still going to be there. So
it's completely different, because I think, I'm just trying to think, I've probably done about 4 or 5 times now I've actually done the Fandance, and it's been a different. I mean, if you look at the weather, if you look at, I don't know, it seemed to have been a different event every time. The first time I only did the single the first time, but again, completely undertrained for it. Turned up, underestimated it. I'd never done the route before. And I'd convinced myself, I've said this before on it, but I'd convinced myself that when I got to the bottom of Jacob's Ladder on the first one, that the Roman road was flat all the way to the halfway point. Just in my head, it was flat until I turned around and had to go back up it. And then I realised what a mistake I'd made, sort of bombing down it. And then I vomited all the way up Jacob's Ladder, which was interesting. So hopefully, say the Fandance goes ahead this year. Are you still training for ultras and things like that in the future, or?
Well, I must admit, the Edinburgh Marathon got cancelled. I think around about the start to mid-March.
Yeah.
I was behind on my prep for it, so I think I mentioned I wasn't exactly cut up about it. I was like, oh, that's fine. Well, let us defer. I'll do it next year. I had chosen, because we come back to expectation versus ability again.
Yeah.
If you're going to do an ultra, I chose the Devil of the Highlands, which is the second half of the West Highland Way.
Yeah.
So it's from Tyndrum up to Fort William, and it's a perfectly good path. There's a lot of gradient on it. 43 miles. I have done most of it as a support runner. I did the last 27 miles as a support runner for a lifelong friend last summer, and got hooked on it. Got hooked on the community around ultra running as well.
Yeah.
It's a great weekend out. The West Highland Way race is probably the biggest challenge in the UK, I would think. Arguably alongside maybe the Spine race.
Yep.
Or,
yeah.
They've each got their pros and cons, but that kind of got me into it. It was due the second week in August, and I firmly believed, well, the marathon's gone, but that's good because you can now kind of run further, but run less often and try and prepare yourself. Instead of doing 6 days a week for 43 miles or whatever a week, you can actually still do 43 miles, but you can do it over 3 or 4 runs and just get your body used to running further. I was a bit gutted when it got. I wasn't expecting it to be cancelled right away. It got cancelled way back in probably towards the end of March, and it came as a big blow. So, suspect mentality and all that. I stopped running basically, and then got put home leave as well, and basically spent 2 weeks. Well, is that 11 o'clock? It was beer o'clock already. That's superb. All the wrong foods, and I put on about 3.5 kilos in a fortnight. And then you have that, hang on, there's a Fandance coming up soon. You can't turn up. You're not going to be able to crack a beer at 11 o'clock at the halfway line or at the turnaround point. They might frown upon that. You're going to have to get your arse in gear here. And I've tried to get right back into it. Immediately pinged my calf, obviously, because in my world, as soon as you start doing anything, your calf says not so fast when you take. So did a lot of walking, then put the pack on with 10 kilos, and I've had a couple of runs, just 3 or 4 miles. And it's funny, the mindset where 5 years ago, 3 or 4 miles would have been a really long run. And now it's actually worth putting your kit on for 4 miles. You become this terrible mileage snob.
And what surprised me though is training for ultra was I was expecting to be doing probably, when I first thought I'm going to do an ultra, and the Brecon to Cardiff ultra I put off about 3 or 4 times. So I'm going to do it, and then last minute, I haven't got enough time to train now, so I won't do it. All that sort of mindset. And this last year in November, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it in February. That's it. I'm going to pay the money now. I want to pay this money because I don't want to be 50 quid out of pocket and not do anything, because that's going to motivate me. And I was surprised really that you haven't got to be putting in sort of 100-mile weeks. I think that the longest week I sort of did for that was probably about a 40-mile week. I think like that. And it was mostly for me, and the training and that was just getting back-to-back long runs in of a weekend.
That's supposedly the secret.
I think it's definitely a secret. Is you can almost sort of knock 2 or 3 5Ks out in the week, but as long as you get out on the Saturday and do double figures twice, you're going to be pretty well prepared for it, aren't you?
I think so. And as soon as I stopped training, in my mind, you're back to square one again. Well, it's terrible, and obviously you're not.
No.
But and so you go out, and I went out a couple. Was it yesterday morning? Went out, ran 4 miles, and it was a beautiful sunny morning here. It's a lovely residential area, and you get about 3.5 miles in, and you go, do you know, I could just keep going here. Absolutely. Obviously, I'm still running in fear of my calf going again. It's like, you know what? On a normal day, I could just run and run, because I love that feeling of you get all my niggles tend to stop hurting after about 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
It's like getting your gearbox fully warmed up and lubricated and all that, and it doesn't clunk anymore. And you just think, God, I absolutely love running. I really do love it. So why don't you just do it more often? You know, and it would make training would be so much easier if you actually consistently looked forward to doing your long runs. There's no reason not to.
No. Everybody goes through that. Every runner you speak to, though, goes through that sort of that phase, don't you? Where you fall out of love with it for maybe a week or two. You don't do that run that you know you should do, and then you don't do it the next day. You don't do it the next day, and suddenly 2 weeks have gone, and you're like, oh, for Christ's sake, I need to get out and just go and do that run.
I mean, it was literally the minute the event got cancelled.
Yeah.
I didn't quite say out loud, thank God I don't have to run this weekend.
Yeah.
But it was almost that, pressure's off. I don't have to do it. And it's kind of inexcusable, really. But, well, you know, none of us are wired 100% properly. I refuse to accept that anyone who voluntarily puts 35 pounds in a rucksack and runs up hills, and I refuse to believe any of us are wired properly.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I had probably about, after I did the ultra, I had about a week off, and I thought, right, I'm going to get back into this now. And it was too soon because I went straight out. I felt okay, but went out and came back and had the knee injury straight away. So then you've just got to put that recovery in, haven't you? But you know, you say you go back to sort of square one. You do, but there's different square ones, isn't there? If you know what I mean. Because like there's the square one for like the normal people who just sort of run, who go out and do 5K, and then there's the square one for the people who throw 35 pounds on the back. But that just becomes, that sort of thing just becomes normal to you in the end, doesn't it? And you've got this really strange new normal.
It is, and you know, obviously everyone at Tabs, you know the funny looks you get. If everyone's out for their morning jog around the Meadows Park or whatever in Edinburgh, and some big bald lad comes past with an army-looking rucksack on his back, and you can almost sense the wrists wagging wanker. You know, the minute you've run past them, you can almost imagine it. But
you've been a cyclist, you're used to it, aren't you? So
lucky to get off with that as a cyclist. Yeah.
So listening to this now, I got a lot of feedback off the episode we did for the live Fandance episode, for people who are saying, right, I'm going to sign up for this now, we're going to do it. So if we've got people listening to this now who are looking to do, say, their first Fandance this summer, or maybe probably even into the winter now, what would be your top 3 tips that you'd want to give them?
Well, first, absolutely. Anyone who has ever thought about doing the Fan, absolutely do it. I can't imagine anyone coming off that hill and thinking, well, that was a fucking waste of time, wasn't it? I just don't honestly. Maybe it's because the last mile is largely downhill. You know, who knows? You finish on a high. Even I was sprinting down it. Yeah. I think you have to not turn up wanting to win. I think that's the big thing. Is the challenge is against yourself. I'm accustomed to doing that. You're accustomed to doing it. But I think I didn't treat it as a race, and that massively helped me. And the other thing is just do your prep. You know, you do your miles. I very rarely carry full weight. I'm 10 kilos. I mean, I'm a big lad. I mean, I'm still over 100 kilos. So, you know, pound for pound, me carrying 10 kilos it's not the same as someone like Brian Anderson carrying 10 kilos. It's a quarter of his body weight, probably. But just do your prep. Make sure your quads are in good working order. Again, coming from a cycling background, I find walking up hills relatively easy because my quads are much stronger than every other muscle in my legs, which is why my calves keep popping. So, I mean, you could talk all night on how you prep for it. It's hilly. It's 15 miles. I think do your prep, and also think about how you're going to travel from the foot of Jacob's Ladder down to the turnaround point, because that's maybe off the top of my head, it's maybe 4.5-5 miles. And you can really recharge your batteries going down there if you eat, if you drink. If you recharge your body, then you're giving yourself every chance. If you go flat out down it, and you get to the bottom and you're blowing out your arse. I think you mentioned you'd maybe done the same.
I did.
Well, you know how much fun it is when you go back. I'm tempted to go back, perhaps on the Sunday in July, and just go absolutely flat out at it. Again, flat out, asterisk after it. Yeah. It's like a heavy goods vehicle, flat out, as opposed to a Lamborghini, flat out. Yeah. Just to see what you can do. And if you do blow up on the way back, you're always going to get to the finish.
Yeah, of course,
you're always going to get up Jacob's ladder. But just, again, I've kind of lost my chain of thought there, but do your training and then think about how you're going to run it as well. I don't do a lot of running as it goes. On it. I think to catch up with yourself and dip under the 4 hours on the Sunday, I ran from the last checkpoint where you can practically see the finish line from it. You come back over the hill and you can see the road down in front of you. I ran there and the DS was shouting at me, come on, you can do this. If you do the speed all the way to the finish, you'll do your 4 hours, which was fantastic advice. So, I think when you notice the end of the event and the finish line's literally downhill 90% of the way, I think if you manage your effort properly, then you'll have a great day. And I kind of regret not going flat out for it and giving it everything on one of the days. You think, well, why not do 3.5 hours? Why not? The only thing that's stopping is the internal governor in here. That it tells you you're tired because it's keeping 30% of your reserve up its sleeve in case you keel over and it has to keep you alive. So you kind of, again, the psychological edge, you could talk about that until the cows come home. You just have to push yourself, and I regret not pushing myself harder.
Well, there's always next time, isn't there, mate?
It's always going to be there. A long time after you and I have gone, the fans still going to be commenting people.
Says, mate, look, I hope I get to see you there in a couple of months' time. If it's on, I'll definitely be there. I'll be at the start line Saturday, Sunday, and the Saturday night as well. Again, I think we're all just getting a bit creative with the different sort of training we're doing, aren't we, at the minute? I've actually had the bike out. I've had the turbo trainer out in the back garden the past couple of days. Just to do
perfect weather for it.
It's to do a bit more exercise, and that I've just managed to find somebody who will actually make me a pull-up bar, so I'm just waiting for that to arrive now and try and get that up in the back garden, because they're about. Do you know what? I was looking for a pull-up bar the other day, and they were £900 on eBay for a pull-up bar.
You could buy 6 rolls of toilet paper for that.
So I thought, oh no, and then I found some fella in Barnsley who usually makes iron gates, and he's now knocking out pull-up bars because. I know, it's good lad. But look, I hope I get to see you there, mate. Thanks for talking to us. It's been great speaking to you today, mate. I'll get this out in the next couple of days for you. And hopefully, sometime in the near future, this lockdown will be down and we can do what we were going to do initially, and we can meet up and have a chat. So,
absolutely, mate. Always enjoy your company. It'll be good to catch up again.
Excellent. Brilliant to speak to you, mate. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon.
All right, Steve. Take it easy, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Ta, mate. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Cheers for that, mate. Ta. Cheers, buddy.
See ya.
Ta-ra, mate.